Hello, welcome to another episode of Midwest Kayak Angler. This one is going to be a little bit different. It's largely just going to focus a bit on the large amounts of camera gear that I've amassed in the last 2 months since bringing this channel online. Largely because I watch way too many YouTube videos and see what everybody's using, see what everybody's reviewing, and end up just going to Amazon and buying it. So let's get started. We'll go ahead and go with the camera that I'm actually recording all this on. As you probably imagine, I don't typically have all of this gear attached to it. This is largely just here for, kind of the show, and I could talk a little about what I use. I typically use this one on the desktop on this small iFootage tripod kicker. This time we're going to be looking at it. Largely I have on there a whole lot of small rig gear. You'll see the Amassed Ninja 5 that I use for recording and for monitor. I'm using the Sony A6600. I was getting it as kind of a stopgap until something new came out from the A7 line, but I've actually been pretty happy with it. On there I've got the 16mm Sigma lens, and it works really well. It does everything I need. It's more than enough for me, someone that doesn't really have a whole lot of people watching the channel anyway. I also have the Deity Pro 3. That's what I'm using to record this particular part of the audio. It's been a really handy device. Battery seems to last really well. It picks up great sound quality, much better than some of the other Rode mics that I'd tried before this. Really happy with this one. Also on there I have kind of the small rig handle on top, and then I mount the Amassed Ninja 5 on top of that. It's not really all that great for carrying around in that manner, but it works pretty well, and it gives it a nice stable mount that I don't have to worry about things coming loose, and I don't have any wobble whatsoever in the fairly large monitor for such a small camera body. We can move on now to standard GoPro Hero 8. I use this largely because I want to attach to my boat. I'll have these kind of front and back of the boat. I've used them a lot in some of the how-to videos where I've put the electronics into the kayak, and where I've done some other work on the kayak. I use a lot of the GoPro because it's stable. The image stabilization works really well. It's sturdy, and it's really easy to mount in a lot of places, especially since my kayak has so many GoPro mounts on it. I guess the next one would be the one that I'm actually filming most of this camera footage with, and that is the little DJI Osmo Pocket. I got this one first, and it's actually a really nice piece. I use it quite a bit because it's just so easy to travel with. I do have a few accessories attached to it. I do have the full neutral density filter system for it, so I can pretty much make it work most times a day, and it does give me really good images. I guess the next one is one of the bigger purchases. It is the DJI Mavic Pro 2. And I don't really use that a whole lot on the channel, but I have done a couple. Kind of show you some of those, a little bit of footage at the, after we get through this part. Then we get into a little bit of some of the other gear. I've got the microphone that I'm using to record this on. It works pretty well. I'm not super happy with the Blue Pro, but it does what I need it to. Next we have the Sound Devices Mix Pre 3, which is one that I'm definitely still trying to figure out. This is an example of using the Mix Pre 3 for audio instead of using the USB out of the Yeti Pro. And then we have some of the lights. I got these lights fairly cheap, but they work really well. The Fabitech, I'm really happy with them. Lots of adjustability, a lot of color adjustability. Next up, we have the Weeble S stabilizer. I get quite a bit of use out of this one. I use it everything from a desktop tripod to its true use. Use it for stabilization. It works really well. Very easy to balance. No real complaints there. And that's really probably about it when it comes to the gear that I've kind of purchased outside of all of the software and all the memberships for stock footage and stock audio and all the different things that I've signed up for online. It's probably a bit more tech than I expected for a fishing channel, but I guess I always like toys, and that's always one of my biggest hobbies is buying new toys. So that's what I did. I hope somebody might have found this somewhat useful. If you have any questions about the gear, I'm certainly not an expert, but I've gotten a lot of use out of it, and I've gotten to figure it out quite a bit, and I do know a lot of pros and cons about some of these systems. Feel free to leave a comment, like the video, ring the bell there, and you can get notified whenever I come up with some new stuff. I do have some interesting new videos that are going to be coming up soon. A lot of new toys, a lot of big toys coming in that I'll have on here that you might find interesting. Well, have a great evening.